Okay, I'm doing this video on the bolts that are for the G series engines, the Isuzu engines, the G160, G161, and the G180 and G200. The G160 and G100 and 61, I believe, use the same bolt that has this style of washer on it. It's a thinner washer, and it has less width, less diameter. On the G180, G200 engines, the washer is wider in width, and it is thicker. And it looks like it's about a little over 3/16, less than a quarter, whereas this one is about an eighth thick. But it's the same bolt, same 12 millimeter bolt, just different washers. Now on the G200 head and the G180, the recess circle, when you insert the bolt into the head with this end first, there's a circular recess in the top of the head, and the width of this washer just fits inside that circular recess perfectly, and that is so the head won't shift, around, because this bolt is locking this washer down in that recess portion around each bolt hole. That's what secures the head. Even though there are dowel pins, 2 dowel pins, and the 2 dowel pins on the block are in opposite corners on the ends, each end of the block, diagonally. So when you fit the head down over those dowels pins are going to hold that head in place. So I don't really see why it's necessary to have a perfectly shaped, or I don't see why it's necessary to have a bigger washer compared to a little narrower washer. Maybe not that much. Maybe it doesn't make much difference. But I think the recess portion in the head is a little bigger than the size of this washer on this one. And the G200 head has a bigger recess portion. Now this does, they say, it's explained that the wider washer is for more evenly placed compression. It's more firmly secure over a wider area, is what they say. So I'm not really sure, even though this is wider than the holes, which are same size holes in the head. Both washers are wider than the hole. Some people are speculating that maybe this washer might distort around the hole more because it's thinner. Now, I noticed that this washer is machined. It's very well machined. It's perfectly machined flat on both sides. Perfectly flat surface. It's thicker. It's more stiffer than this one would be. Now, I can't even tell if this is machined washer or not. It just kind of looks like a washer that you'd pick up at a hardware store, hardened washer, grade 8 or something. But this is maybe a different type alloy also. I don't know for sure. It might be a stronger alloy. Grade 8's pretty strong, but it's funny that these don't distort. They don't distort at all. They always stay flat. All of them that I pulled out and reused, they remain perfectly machined flat. So anyway, what I want to do is, see these washers, there we go. These washers were put on before it was threaded. The bolt was threaded in the manufacturing process, so you can't pull them off. They're permanently on there unless you cut them off. I mean, you don't have to cut them off to get the washer off. You know, basically all you have to do is strip the threads. Just grind the threads down. Grind these threads down, and these will just slide right off. So what I wanted to do is take all these washers off of all 10 bolts, and so I'm going to grind the threads off of these or I'm going to cut these washers off of the 161 block bolts. I'm going to have to cut the washers off, put a straight cut through it, and try to bend it and separate it where I can slide it off or something. And these washers I'll have to do on the old bolts that I'm going to replace with these bolts. I'm going to grind these old threads off and just slide the washer off, so I won't worry about damaging these washers that way. And then when I put them on, they'll just slide over these bolts. The problem I'm going to have is I'm going to have to drill the center hole out on these washers to get them to fit over the threads. I'm going to have to slightly drill the center hole out wide enough, just wide enough to clear these threads. So there will be a little, like right now there's not much slop. There's hardly any slop side to side. And I'm not sure if they wanted these washers to not have any slop in them when they put them on. I think so. But even if I drill the center hole out, it's not going to be, there's not going to be that much slop in them. And I mean, the bolt's not going anywhere, and the washer's going to be up against the bolt when they're torqued down. So, and the head's not going to move around because the dowel pins are going to hold the head in place that are in the block securely. The head's not going to slide around on the block with those dowel pins. So I don't think it's going to matter. But this is one way you can find a good set of bolts from off of an impulse, and there seems to be a lot of them being sold on eBay, these bolts, but you never find these bolts with these washers on eBay or online. It's like people are holding on to them and not giving them up. Maybe because the washers are so rare. Those washers are the key fitting point for the G200 head. They're stronger washers. They're machined perfectly flat. And that's probably why. So that's what I'm going to do. And it's gonna be a little bit of extra work, but there's no problem with that. And that's all I got today. That's all I wanted to talk about. So have a good day, and I'll talk to you later.